Alright, so I couldn't take how I had this, I had it just wasn't coming out the top at all, and it was such a tight slot right there that I couldn't get the wedge in. I ended up splitting the wedge trying to get it started. So what I did, I took it back out, sanded it some more so I could get a little bit more on there, and I took my carpenter saw right there, and since I cut this with a coping saw, it was a really small slot, and I just went back down the slot with the carpenter saw just to open it up a little bit and sand it around a little more. And I just went to Lowe's and got another wedge. Where the hell did I put it? Oh. And I bought another handle actually, just so I have a replacement. And I'm having trouble finding where the hell I'm putting everything. But basically, these wedges they sell, I never even read them. They say for sledgehammer, which may not really make a difference, but it's really, it's kind of fat, but it's not very wide, so it wasn't even going the width. So when I bought another handle, that handle came with a wedge, and I'm not putting that handle on, I'm just keeping it as a replacement. And all the handles there had wedges, and they had some extra wedges just sitting in the bottom. So since they were extras, because everything else had a wedge with it, I just took one. Don't really consider it stealing because every wedge they had there, or every handle they had there, still had wedges. And the only reason I took it is because it's a lot wider. It's a lot wider wedge than what's here, and a little more rough cut, but whatever. I want to make sure I get that wedge completely the right width. I am gonna have to trim it a little bit, but yeah, I just wanted to go back over that with you guys, and I'll show y'all. Oh, and another big thing, I put it in there to hammer this on. I put this in the vise to hammer the head on, but then always, once you want to get your tightest fit, actually take your axe out, turn it upside down, and hit the bottom of the handle. Now you got to be careful, especially when they're shaped like this. What I did is I held a rag, put a rag over top of it, and just held it tight. And I hit mine with a dead blow hammer. One, because it's not metal, it's not gonna it's gonna be less likely to crack. And even though I had a rag over it, and that dead blow, it really is a good hit because it's actually got I'm not exactly sure what they put in these. It's like sand or something, and basically it keeps it from bouncing back. Basically you get all your force in that hit and it doesn't bounce back because of the way that sand rocks inside of it. So we got it on good. We're gonna hit the wedge in here, and once we get that, and I'm dipping my wedge before I put my head on, I rub boiled linseed oil over this top piece here, everything that would have been sanded. I'm actually going to rub boiled linseed oil all over my wedge before I hit it in also. And so I'll put this in here and get it in. Once I get my wedge as far as I can get it, I will take it out, and I'll do the same thing, hit the bottom, see if I can get any more out of the handle, and then tap the wedge one more time, and then cut everything off. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to cut it flush or if I'm going to leave a hair of it out. We'll see. But I'll show you guys what it looks like before I cut it and before I put my metal wedges in. Alright, see y'all in a few. Alright guys, so I got my wedge in here. It ain't going no further than that. So pretty much, I held it in the vise, beat it down as far as I could, and then I took it out the vise, hung it upside down, and hit the bottom of the handle just to see if I could get any more of that handle inside the axe head. you know, after beating it like that, I just wanted to make sure it didn't come back at all, and wanted to just make sure I got that head seated as tight as possible. So I got this hit in there. You know, I hit it upside down, and then I turned it back over and hit this more. I drew a line around the wedge and beat on it more just to see if that line disappeared. So now I'm going to cut this off flush with the top of that axe head. And I don't know if I'm going to take any of that off or not. Alright guys, my wedge is in there, my center wedge and my two metal wedges. I gotta find my center punch, and I'm gonna tap. You can see how it's barely sitting above. I'm gonna get my center punch and just tap that down a hair. But after that, I'm just gonna rub some more boiled linseed oil. Unsure what I'm gonna do. I probably will come back and stain this part here to match the rest, but of course I'm gonna try her out first off. But yeah, I will take some footage of me actually using this, and we will even go back to the log that set her to rocking in the first place and try splitting it just to make sure she's seated better than it was with Cold Steel. Cold Steel before had, I'll get a comparison here. I got so much shit out. It's ridiculous. Alright. Well, maybe I don't have it. There it is. There goes my freaking Red Bull. Alright, so this is how I did it. I sanded it down, moved it more down on the handle. Now we lost that much of the handle length, but that'll just make it easier for a pack axe, which is what I wanted. If I wanted a all-out balls to the wall big homestead axe, I would have bought a bigger axe. We'll get a measurement on this and see what it is, but that's how they had it. They had two circle metal wedges. I mean, it was fitted pretty tight, and I didn't think it was going to move, but they didn't have, I really wish, if they would have split the handle and put a wood wedge in the middle before them circle wedges, we would have been fine. So now that's what I got. Sanded her down. Now I lost some of my handle, so if that ever is to snap and break, I don't know if we'll be able to use this again, but if it gets loose again, I still got some more that I can, now I can actually pull those wedges out, and those circle wedges would have been a bitch, but these I can actually get underneath with a little screwdriver or some kind of little center punch or something to pry it out. But let's see how much length we got now. Got the tape measure. Alright. Come on. Sit still for me just for a minute. I don't want to. Alright. Sorry guys, I ain't trying to make you throw up. Not trying to move this anymore. Alright, so just over 25 inches. That's with the top of the handle itself from the bottom. Almost 23 and a half, about 23 3/8. So we're around 25 and a half inches. I think that's what I said. We took almost 2 inches off. So this is a pretty big axe to begin with. I think they had it listed as like a 23-inch axe, but it's not. It's like 27 from the top of the head. I'm talking total length. But yeah, we got her good and tight now. I will take some footage of me actually using it after I set those pins a little more. But Cold Steel Trail Boss fixed to be a workhorse now. when I get time, I'll restain this, but got to get ready and go to bed because it is around lunchtime and I have to be at work at 5 o'clock tonight to work 13 hours. So I'll try to get these uploaded for you guys so y'all can see if your trail boss head comes loose, how to fix it yourself. Until next time, y'all have a good one.